most dangerous trap a psychological predator can set for you is one you willingly walk into. They don't use force. They don't use open threats. Instead, they use your own social compliance, your politeness, and your desire to avoid conflict against you. They back you into a corner where saying no makes you look like the bad person. They construct a beautiful hidden cage and wait for you to lock the door from the inside. Most people try to fight their way out. They argue, they get emotional, and they break their own status in the process. But high-status individuals use a completely different, lethal counter-strategy. They don't try to break the cage. They play the game, mirror the math, and execute what behavioral scientists call the reverse trap. They accept the premise, but silently invert the power dynamic, forcing the manipulator to step into their own trap and publicly unmask themselves. And today, we are going to break down the exact operational framework behind this clean execution. Stay with me. To defeat a social trap, you must first understand the silent architecture behind it. Human society runs on unwritten scripts. The most powerful script is the law of reciprocity. When someone does something seemingly helpful for you, your brain is biologically hardwired to pay them back. Manipulators don't just know this rule, they weaponize it. They engineer situations where they give you an uninvited favor, a public compliment, or a piece of unsolicited advice. They aren't trying to be nice. They are installing a hidden psychological microdebt into your subconscious mind. They know that your fear of looking ungrateful, rude, or combative in front of your peers will force you to accept their terms. They use your own high emotional intelligence and empathy to walk you into their cage. If you react with anger, you look like the villain. If you submit, they gain legal leverage over your boundaries. This is the compliance paradox, a loop designed to make you lose no matter what you choose. But when you understand the mathematics of the reverse trap, you stop playing by their rules entirely. The first step of the reverse trap requires you to ignore your survival instinct. When a manipulator publicly forces a favor or an asset on you to make you look dependent, your natural reaction is to reject it or get angry. Don't. Instead, you are going to accept it with absolute, cold, exaggerated professional formality. In behavioral science, this is called the strategic affirmation. The moment they hand you the uninvited resource in front of your colleagues, look them directly in the eyes. No emotion, no smile. And say clearly, "Thank you for handling that task. Since you volunteered your extra time, it allows me to focus entirely on the high-value operations. Your support on this is noted." Look closely at the mathematics of this statement. You did not break the unwritten script of politeness. You accepted the favor. But you silently reframed the entire hierarchy of the room. By defining their action as volunteered support, you legally converted their calculated leverage into a subordinate task. You took the nice person mask they used to trap you, and you turned it into their actual permanent status. The second step of the reverse trap is where the trap snaps shut. It is called the public exposure. By framing their calculated favor as subordinate support, you have created a powerful psychological information vacuum. The manipulator is now trapped by their own design. If they accept your thank you, they officially accept the lower rank in front of the entire team. They lose their hidden leverage. But if they try to correct you, if they say, "No, I didn't do this as an assistant. I did this to help you because you couldn't handle it," they expose their true mal. They are forced to throw an emotional tantrum in public. And the moment they do that, their nice person camouflage completely disintegrates. The entire room will instantly see the aggressive, high-conflict predator hiding underneath the smile. You didn't break their trap. You simply forced them to step into it themselves. They built the cage, but you made them lock it from the inside. The most elegant victory in a social power play requires zero noise. You don't need to yell. You don't need to engage in messy, emotional arguments. You simply need to understand the architecture of compliance and reverse the math. When you master the art of the reverse trap, you stop becoming a victim of their unwritten scripts. You hold your ground, stand immovable, and let their own arrogance lock the cage from the inside. Now that you know how to neutralize these public setups, you are ready to face the most dangerous threat of all. Because sometimes a psychological predator doesn't set traps in public. They use deep, silent camouflage to dismantle your life from behind a perfect smile. Click on the video appearing on your screen right now to discover the hidden mechanics of the covert Machiavellian and learn how to drop the ultimate validation strike before they make their next move. I'll see you there.